News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, we will have details on President Donald Trump's state visit to the UK in a moment. But first, Walt Disney's ABC network is taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely and follows comments about the killing of Republican activist Charlie Kirk. Let's get the very latest with Bloomberg's John Tucker. John.
And Nathan, in his monologue Monday night, Kimmel accused Republicans of using Charlie Kirk's death to criticize their opponents.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and do everything they can to score political points from it.
That drew an immediate backlash. Nexstar Media Group, which owns dozens of ABC TV affiliates, said it would pull the show indefinitely from its stations over remarks that it termed offensive and insensitive. Well, Nexstar has business pending before the FCC. The broadcaster is seeking federal approval for a $6.2 billion agreement to acquire another local station owner. Brendan Carr, chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, told podcast host Benny Johnson that he had a strong case to punish Kimmel, ABC, and Disney. It's a pretty treacherous political climate for major media companies. As the latest example of the Trump administration pressuring them to mind their talents on-air remarks. You'll recall in July, CBS announced it was ending its late-night show hosted by Stephen Colbert, who has also been a critic of Trump. At the time, its parent, Paramount Global, was seeking FCC approval for its takeover by Skydance Media. Well, Disney gave no indication of when or if Kimmel's show might return. On social media, President Trump praised the move and said NBC should fire its late-night hosts. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, John, thank you. We want to get the latest now on President Trump's trip to the UK. His state visit now turns from pomp to tougher diplomatic talks on trade and foreign policy. Let's go to London and get the very latest from Bloomberg Daybreak Europe anchor Caroline Hepker. And Caroline, good morning.
Good morning, Karen. The president has arrived at the Prime Minister's country residence, Chequers, greeted by Keir Starmer and his wife, Lady Victoria. The president came from Windsor Castle after a showstopper state banquet last night that the British government will surely be delighted went down well with the US leader. The King's speech was warm. It was true to the man and to British concerns, the monarch pressing the need to safeguard the environment, to support Ukraine and to, in his words, go even further on the recent UK-US trade deal. The president, for his part, lavished praise on the royal family, on the shared history between the two countries. Here's a moment from his speech last night.
This is truly one of the highest honors of my life. Such respect for you and such respect for your country. For many decades, His Majesty the King has epitomized the fortitude, nobility, and the spirit of the British monarchy and the British people.
The president said the word special doesn't do the relationship between the UK and US justice. Does that mean any concessions on security or trade for the Prime Minister at Chequers today? Government is guiding expectations low. Domestic media, though, are already reporting further investments in terms of the Ministry of Defence in the UK and the US tech company Palantir.
Yeah, and what else might we hear coming out of Chequers today, Caroline?
Essentially, do the differences between the UK government and the US administration stay behind closed doors, or do they burst forth in this perilous press conference due this afternoon? The UK has different views on Israel, recognising a Palestinian state. It wants more US support for Ukraine. It sees the UK's free speech as robust. So will the press conference see any difficult questions for President Trump, and how will they be handled? Let's say over Jeffrey Epstein. The UK also still has to appoint a new ambassador to Washington. Who will that be? For the moment, the government pointing to this record £150 billion of investments into the UK. But Britain really holding its breath for the press conference this afternoon.
Sure, yeah, so much going on. Bloomberg Daybreak Europe anchor Caroline Hepker will be checking in with you throughout the morning. Caroline, thank you.
Yeah, no, domestic politics is still going on for President Trump as well, Karen. The president posted on Truth Social last night from the UK that he plans to designate Antifa a major terrorist organization. The president also says he will strongly recommend thorough investigations of groups that fund the organization. The White House has promised to investigate what it calls left-wing extremism in the wake of Charlie Kirk's shooting shooting death. Antifa is a loose collective of far-left militant groups. Authorities have not linked Kirk's killing directly to any political organization.
On Capitol Hill, Nathan, the House has killed a resolution to censure Congresswoman Ilhan Omar over her comments about the conservative activist. The Democrat from Minnesota told a liberal podcaster that Republicans praising Charlie Kirk for a civil debate were full of it. Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace proposed the resolution that would have stripped Omar of her committee assignments, and 4 Republicans joined Democrats in blocking it. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.